Hey there, this is KP with Coronavirus Diaries, a channel dedicated to the documentation of a world under lockdown. Today I'm going to continue with my fact-checking series that I've been doing lately. I started out with why Sars-Cov-2 seems weaker now and the asymptomatic versus pre-symptomatic video. Before I continue on to what my next subject is, I'd just like to thank those of you who are following us on Twitter. Looks like we've been gaining quite a bit over there on that social media, and we're going to continue to do so. But we just want to thank those of you who are following us over there. If you want to jump on over to the YouTube channel, there's a link actually in our description on our Twitter profile, and you can jump right over to YouTube and subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you know when we have new videos up. Now, let's move on to the subject for today, which is how long can the coronavirus survive on various different surfaces, whether it's wood or metal or paper or any of that kind of stuff. We've been hearing lots of different stories, a lot of different lengths of time. A lot of people at the beginning of this were taking their mail and putting them, grabbing it with rubber gloves and putting it in plastic bags and keeping it in those bags for like a week, and then they would take their mail out, and there was a lot of and for good reason. We didn't really know at the time how long this thing lasted and how long it was viable to make us sick. So what we're finding, this is a story that's, it's kind of an older story. I'm going to start with some older stories. This is from March 24th, and at the time, it was, the estimation was that it could live on a surface for a very long time, for days and days, depending on what type of surface. And it looked like the smoother the surface, the longer it would actually live on them. It seemed like porous surfaces like paper or cardboard or cloth would suffocate the disease, is kind of how they put it. Whereas plastics and metals, it could live on for quite some time. As time grew on, we get to, this is also from March actually, they started doing studies and started looking on at how it could remain on the surface for days, and we could touch a doorknob and touch our eye and suddenly we would be sick. As time went on, this is one from April, we're getting into April now, near the end of April actually. They had done a couple of studies by then, one with the New England Journal of Medicine and the other one was with The Lancet. It looks like the New England Journal of Medicine is rounding things up pretty high. They're erring on the side of caution. The Lancet study seems to have some lower numbers. But around April, we were of the mind that it could last 3 to 7 days on plastic, 3 to 7 days on stainless steel, 4 hours, up to 4 hours on copper, 4 days on paper, 4 days on glass, 24 hours on cardboard, and 2 days on wood, according to this chart here. Now, these numbers are pretty high compared to what we have learned since then. Some of them are right on still, like copper, for instance, is still up to 4 hours, we're finding. Cardboard is up to, it can live on there for up to 24 hours. And when I say live on there, I should say it can be detected on there for up to 24 hours. That's the thing about this, is that even though we can detect it on surfaces for days and days, the jury is still out as to whether or not it is still viable to make you sick. And that's really what it comes down to, is whether or not it's still contagious. It could be detected on the surface, but the jury is still out right now as to whether or not it's still contagious, if it still can give you COVID-19. I'm sure up to a certain point it can, but the problem that they're finding is that they can detect it whether it's a living or dead virus on that surface. Right now, they're not really sure how long it actually lives on that surface, even if it can be detected after it has passed on, so to speak. The latest article I found on the subject was reviewed very recently, July 20th, which was yesterday as of this taping, and they're finding it's kind of the middle of the road. It started out, it was very extreme, like 7 days on metal. Then it seemed like when the studies first came out, they said we don't have to worry about it as much, and now it's kind of jumped back up a little bit for certain surfaces. One thing I found interesting about this particular article is that it's giving you numbers for coronaviruses in general. It says here the family of viruses that includes the one that causes COVID-19. So the numbers you see here are including all the types of coronaviruses, including the ones that cause SARS and MERS and any number of them that cause very mild illnesses. So you have to take this with a grain of salt a little bit because it's not specific to SARS-CoV-2. So as it stands right now, we're finding that according to the studies at hand, metal that's not stainless steel, it can live up to 5 days on, or at least it can be detected for up to 5 days on. Wood can be detected up to 4 days on. Plastics, 2 to 3 days. Stainless steel, up to 2 to 3 days. Cardboard is still standing at 24 hours. Copper is still standing at up to 4 hours. Aluminum. There's some additional surfaces here that weren't in some of the other studies, so this is kind of interesting. So like pop cans and whatnot, 2 to 8 hours. Up to 5 days on glass. Up to 5 days on ceramics. Paper. This one is all over the map. They found that sometimes it only lives for a few minutes on paper, and others it lives up to 5 days. Maybe it's the type of paper that matters. I'm not really sure on that one. It does not seem to spread through food. It has not been found in any drinking water. Fabrics. Not much research on that one yet. Not much research on shoes. Not much research on skin and hair. Now this one surprises me. I figured this would be the first thing they would research on how long it survives on skin and hair, but it looks like they already know that rhinoviruses can survive for hours. So it's very important to continue washing your hands and face, keeping your hands away from your face as much as possible after you've touched foreign substances or been out and about with other people. Of course, it goes through the usual spiel of keeping things clean, keeping your hands clean. This is all very common sense. I really wanted to just focus on the factual part of what they've found so far in the studies that they've done. The main studies are still being cited from the New England and from the Lancet. I haven't found too many articles that are talking about any other studies, which I find kind of interesting and a little odd. I just wanted to catch you up on that, let you know what the latest studies have shown, what the latest media is showing, and hopefully we'll get more information as time goes on and how we can fight this thing. So stay safe out there and God bless. This is KP signing off.